Okay, right, so that's a good start. Right, so basically, guys, the way this is going to work, obviously, we're what kind of 2-3 weeks old now. So it's going to take a little bit of time to hit that next phase, right? We had that guild meeting. We've kind of established that foundation layer. The Salt guys have sort of come in now. So we're kind of at where we need to be. From here on out, it's going to be trying to figure out scheduling, trying to figure all that kind of stuff. But the beginnings of this sort of coaching, I wouldn't say it's so much as training, it's more like coaching because we're so large, is going to start up, right? The reason for that is we need to find common ground on how we play, like a play style, an identity, a way to galvanize the team, because there'll be elements of one group coming from one guild that are used to playing a certain way and in others. I don't want you guys to lose that identity for each individual guilds, but we need to be able to make Legacy greater than the sum of its parts as well, right? Not less than the sum of its parts, which is going to take time because we are large. So the way this is going to work, we'll video these sessions, okay, and we'll put up little 15-minute segments on the Discord. We'll have a sign off that everyone will watch them, and then we'll just learn by doing together, okay? But what I want is to create a common language, right? So we can always refer to the macro, the way that we play. If anyone has questions about something, we can always talk about it in terms of that, right? So there'll always be something to refer to. All right, so we'll just get into it. Basically, what I want to start coaching, okay, is an ABC play style, okay, which is quite specific in that. All right, this is something that you probably guys haven't done in specific coaching and certain stuff. But what I want is to be able to explain to you guys more easily what I'm looking for, how the fights actually work, what's actually happening, and how we improve our win ratio, basically. So ABC basically refers to as point A is basically the mechanics or what you're doing right now or about to do. That single moment that's happening in the here and now, okay? Point B, all right, is what happens after that, the next step, basically. So if you think about it, if you've got two groups, us and the enemy, what our intentions are, what they're trying to do, whether or not we're baiting a bomb, whether or not we're inviting them onto us so that we can hold counter bomb, or whether or not we're going ham or we're ready to push. That will be point B, the next thing to happen, okay? But it can only happen effectively if we manage point A first, right? So point A goes into point B, all right? Point C after that is once that resolves, okay, if you play at a certain level, okay, and you have a certain macro understanding of the game knowledge, the cooldowns of certain things, the rhythm of the fight, you will be able to know exactly what we have, what the enemy has down the line as well. And that will be point C. Outside of that, point A, which goes into point B, into point C in terms of mechanics, doesn't exist. Okay, that's the maximum remit of what you can expect to try and play and plan and have in your head when you execute. Okay, the rest is just situational. You'll move on to B, which will then obviously become A, and it will shift on and it will shift on as you develop. Okay, what's actually quite important and what I want to cover today is the nuts and bolts of how that works. Okay, ongoing, we'll add things into the mechanics of executing what happens at A, how that affects B, how we know things will develop, what we're looking for in point C, right? But what's actually important with the way that this works in terms of the meta is the speed of the game right now, right? The game has never been played faster than it has been now, okay? Mainly because of Necro and Revenant being so strong, okay? So everything is about Necro and Revenant. And what we've got to understand is if we want to get to a certain level as a group, or, I asked each of the guilds for their best players, if you want to prove yourselves that that's you, the hidden qualities of that is actually understanding the mechanical speed of A, B, and C. That's the difference between a poor guild to an okay guild to a decent guild is the mechanical speed, but also the speed between the points, all right, which is all about movement, positioning, all that kind of stuff. That's actually where good guilds live, okay? Is if you decrease the speed between A and B and you decrease the understanding speed, i.e. the communication of that, you're going to become much better as a group, okay? And that's where we need to get value from, okay? Is understanding the speed of that. I've looked at the videos so far. Obviously, Bella's put a few in. There are some standout people that clearly have some misunderstandings of macro, or whether it's communication or positioning or stuff like that. And I'll try and work with those as individuals. But I do want to set out a template for the group. Okay, so we'll talk about that as it evolves raid to raid. For today, what I will focus on, we'll get in. I'm just tabbed out right now, but we'll get into game. We'll talk about apexing, the preparation on domes, one close, one far, how that looks, what you guys should be looking for with the development of the play. All right, so we'll talk all early game for today. Are there any questions that anyone needs, any clarification of what ABC actually means and what we're going to do with it? Okay, this is not new to any of the guys from SF. I've been doing this for ages. Everyone else, it might be very new. So, you know, if you do have questions, please ask me, all right? Because it's important. I don't want to put out shit content. You know, don't hide. Just be honest. I'm just looking for honest players, okay? All right, let's get in game. Okay, if you guys could just stack up on the heroes banner. All right, so we'll look at this. So the Apex, how does this work? So I've mentioned before, right? The entire meta is all about Scourge, Necro, and Rev. Okay, we know everything about Revs. You're good players. You know how it works. We can talk about builds, standard builds, and everything will come towards the end of the week, and we'll move on with those. But what I want you guys to understand is this ABC of how we enter the fights. How do we get actually more efficient with unlocking the fight in our advantage, how we gain tempo. Tempo is what we'll cover in next macro session, and how we actually go about that. Okay, so you've heard me mention in the raids a number of times about apexing and rev work, right? But what I want us to do is start executing that mechanically much, much better. Okay, so just say, for example, I mean, it's a little bit close actually. We exit further out. All right, just say what we'll do, okay, is we end up moving into a position to get rev work, whether it's, you know, front left or front right of a fight on the dance to start, whether it's situationally on a bridge or whatever. That apex work is what allows us to decide whether or not we are in a tempo advantage, so we can go, or tempo deficit if we have to play with a turtle dome and all that kind of stuff in the next phase. Okay, so what it would be is 2 into 3 from the revenants going forwards. We step forwards, you know, and we stay for an amount of time to make sure that when they come back from their phase smash, they're protected. We move away from that. So we got about 1.5 seconds to get this done. Obviously, you can go 2 into 3 and then use the hammer 5 and walk away with it going off at maximum, you know, further than maximum range. From the necros, okay, I want to start seeing the Chillblains go out. You probably do this already. Chillblains 3 into 4. The reason, okay, you get that chill off, get them longer into that apex damage, plus the fact that we'll be in range of them. All right, if your marks can hit them, their marks can hit us. Get your Putrid Mark off to transfer that chill and all that shit back to them. Okay, so we can walk out of it much, much faster. From the Guardians, I really hope you guys are using Stalwart Speed instead of Legendary Lore. Okay, if you open up your builds, guys, we'll look at this in the builds when they come at the end of the week. The Firebrand trait line, okay? The middle column, put on Stalwart Speed instead of Legendary Lore, okay? Yes, this is a bit more GVG oriented, okay? But when you apex, what I want you guys to do is get your heal pulse mantra out, to give the quickness on the trade. If we can out trade them because we know we're going to end up static because we're protecting the revenants with their phase smashes, we get more mechanics out, we put more pressure, and we can move away. The quickness is huge on that. Also get your elite stab off so that they don't get CC'd by lines and all that kind of stuff, and we're out from there. And then cleanse if you look at your parties and we just happen to get more Chillblains out on us. But that should get us going. I want the apexes to be really fucking tight from now on, okay? It's very simple stuff, very building blocks. All right, I'm just going to give the lieutenants to the warriors as well. Okay, if Haz and Chekhov, you can put your markers on your head. Silent, I'm going to give you one as well. If Chekhov still hasn't got keybind set up, if you can put it on him. Guys, if your warriors, just Chekhov, you can step out. Yeah, Silent, if you could give him a circle or something. Yeah, thank you. Nice one. Okay, so, guys, stay real tight on that banner. All right, so just for example, say me and Scoo's the enemy. Stay. All right, say I'm the enemy on this. In terms of our positioning, so your group, whether or not it's arcing left or right, obviously with the way we want to start the fights, we've got to be dome or bubble, as you guys would call it, efficient. But the positioning of it really needs to improve. They're not great at the moment because you guys, probably don't know how I want to set them up, which is fair enough. Okay. So basically what ends up is one ends up being offensive. Okay. So you find those flanking positions to be able to find them. Okay. So you're looking for that sort of stuff to be able to go in. And you always refer to yourself as your color, right? So if you're going to go in, and you're on far or offensive dome, you say blue going or blue dome or whatever it is, right? And then Chekhov, I know you can't talk, but we'll figure this stuff out with players that can be vocal about it. If you're staying defensive, okay, don't be on the stack, all right? What I don't want to see is one warrior looking outward and the other warrior being on me. Okay, that's fucked, right? We're not going to get the turtle dome out in time. If the stack is taking all the pressure, I want the defensive dome to be slightly off the shoulder, basically, as we used to call it in SF. Okay. The reason for that is, Haz, can you just come to me a sec? All right. Can you get a rush animation through the X towards Scoos from here, please? Okay, the moment where we get that defensive play, all right, that diagonal from off the shoulder is what I'm looking from Chekhov has, okay? Is that drop off the shoulder to be able to cover the front section with the dome without taking so much fucking pressure that you can't get the dome off. All right, so offensive finds these positions, okay, with the Ellies or Revenants, whoever is trying to start the fight early, okay, and the close dome, the defensive dome, ends up being off the shoulder. I don't want to see, I want to see nice, really tight defensive domes should we be in a tempo deficit, which we'll talk about next time out. The reason I'm telling everyone this, okay, is look for it. We need to start communicating these markers, all right? They're not just on their head for a reason. If Haz goes or Chekhov goes or it's been asked for and you know that we're playing about defensive or offensive domes, just listen to my calls in terms of where I'm going. Obviously, stay compact as much as possible, but all of the outward mechanics go on blue, go on triangle, go on Scoos when he jumps up and down on his staff, okay? It's important that you look outwards. Yeah, I'm going to end it there, okay? So that's the beginning of it, right? Just introducing you to ABC, how we'll take that forwards, okay? The apex work, how that works in practice, and how the close and far domes work. And I want everyone to really start looking for that, all right? Start actually getting mechanical speed up, A into B into C, so we can move and be much more dominating, all right? That will end the video there, and we'll talk about tempo next time out.